welcome you back to another tailgate session. I'm David Dahm. Today is going to be a really important podcast because it will impact the days and weeks between May the 14th and August 1st. Normally, I don't date the podcast because it outdates it. Well, this one I want to keep it dated because you need to understand what's in front of you. There's plenty of opportunity in front of you. Do you see the opportunity that I see? I see that farmers are needing help and not becoming emotional, but becoming more rational in their discussions. One of the things that I want you to remember is that you can't replace lost bushels. You may want to write that down. When a farmer says, I think I'm going to cut that, I'm not even going to talk about it. I don't even want to bring it up. I think we have to be empathetic. I can understand why you would feel that way. But can I ask you a quick question? Now, if we say it with that tonality and those words, I think you're going to earn a lot of respect. I can understand why you don't want to think about it. I can understand at first glance, probably looks like we should cut that out. Can I ask a question? Yeah, sure. Well, what would be the reasons why the decision to cut that out would be a decision we might look at later and go, wish we wouldn't have done that? Could we look at the options and the scenarios before we make a final decision just to make sure that's the right decision for your farm or for that farm? And I think one of the things that sometimes happens during these times is that, if we don't get all the sale, if we don't get all of it on all the acres, well, then that was bad for us. We need to help make decisions right now for our customers. Perhaps that add-in in that tank mix or that seed treatment on that seed, maybe it isn't needed on every one of their acres, but it may be needed on some of their acres. So there's plenty of opportunity out there. And so how can we utilize the coming days and weeks between now and August 1st to build trust, to help our farmer customers understand what those options are, and to see us in a light that they go, they're really helping me arrive at better decisions. Now, there's something that stands in our way as salespeople. I call it a string of sales DNA that's really in all of us. But how much of that sales DNA is in you impacts your ability to be really great at your job as an agronomist, as a district salesperson, as a seed or a seed professional, whatever role you're in. This piece of DNA impacts you, and that is, would you rather be liked or respected by your farmers? I'll say that again. Do you have a higher need to be liked or respected? And you're saying, well, David, duh, I want my farmer customers to like me. I'm glad you feel that way. Likability is certainly a part of selling. Very, very few people write out a check to someone that they don't like. But my question is how is likability, how does the need or the drive to be liked by someone influence your ability to push back, your ability to challenge a farmer? What we find in the research and our assessments that we do is if you have a higher need to be liked and respected, you're going to worry about farmers liking you more than you're going to worry about not helping them see all their options. When you have a higher need to be liked and respected, you generally don't push back or challenge the farmer's thinking. Because why? Because you're afraid if you push back, they're not going to like you. Now, what is pushing back? When a farmer says, I'm going to cut that out of my program. If you have a higher need to be liked, what will you do? Oh, okay. If you would rather have a higher need to be respected, you'll say, I really appreciate you letting me know that you're going to cut that out of your program. How did you arrive at that? I'm really glad that you let me know that you're planning on cutting out of that program. Can I ask you a question? What would the what would be for add-on? You see, pushing back and challenging is a core skill in becoming a great consultant, and that's what you are. You are a consultant for a farmer. They are consulting you in regards to what they should do, how they should do it, how much, how little. So I'm going to give you two questions where you're at first glance, you're going to say, David, I don't know if I can ask it. And if you think that, you probably have a higher need to be liked and respected. And then your next question might be, well, David, what do I do about it? Here's what you do about it. I'll give you an analogy first. If you and some close friends were all sitting together in a restaurant, and you got up to go to the restroom, and while you were away, your friends were still there, but some stranger came up and looked like a sugar package, but some kind of a package, opened it up and put it in your water or iced tea. Now, when you came back and you were reaching for that iced tea, what would you want your friends to do? Well, I'd want them to say something to me. I'd like, don't drink that. There's this guy, I don't know, he dumped something in it. I don't know what it is. Ask for a different glass of water or iced tea. Well, are your friends more concerned about likability or careability? When you care a lot, when you care so much, you ask tough questions, you push back. You do it with great tonality, you do it with great empathy, but you push back. The two questions that you really need to begin asking now are these two questions. When I'm working with my other customers like you, they often want to know what options they have available right now to make sure there's enough crop nutrition to feed this crop throughout the year to hit their yield goal. And the reason why they find that is important is so that they can lower their cost of production by putting just enough on and still raising their bushels, which is going to lower their cost of production. Now I'm going to go through this. When you write down the words they often want to know, those words can't be changed. So what is it that your customers want to know more about? Is it tissue sampling? Is it your observations from plots? Is it some new products that are coming down the pipe? And then the second part of this question that you just have to get is so they can what? So they can prevent, minimize, maximize, or take advantage of whatever specific issue. You're going to find when you phrase this question, you're going to earn more respect from farmers. We're not pushing rocks. We're not talking about the weather. We're not talking about how bad things are. We're earning respect by getting a farmer to see us in a different light. Let me do it one more time. When I'm working with other guys like yourself, they often want to know more about what I'm seeing in the fields so that they can maximize the yield potential from this crop. Would you be curious to know what I'm seeing in the field? 99.9% of the time, what are you going to hear? Well, yes. That's your first question that you got to ask now. Now we can make that question fold into precision. We can make that question fold into crop nutrition, crop protection, anything at all. Your seed, hybrids and varieties, you got to make that your own. The second question I'm going to provide you is extremely important. Why? Because it helps set the criteria of how your customers should make their best decisions. Now I'm going to ask you this question. When you're highly stressed, how good of decisions do you often make? When you're tired, how good of decisions do you make? When you're scared, frustrated, emotional, do you sometimes find yourself paralyzed? Do you sometimes make the wrong decision and you wish you could go back? Yeah. So my question is how are you going to help your farmers make good decisions this year? Here's how you do it. You know, when I'm working with my other customers like you, they've really been looking for more answers on how they can pinch just a little bit more out of this crop in a profitable way. Now, here's what I want you to be ready for. You ready? They often make their decisions on what to do based on my observations, our recommendations, ROI. How would you want your customers to make their decisions? What criteria would you want them to use to make their best decisions? Now, if you don't know what the criteria is, what criteria do you think they'll use? Price? I don't know what I'm going to do, meaning I'll just kick the can down the street a little bit longer and further? Or could they focus on the criteria that somebody else is feeding them, your competition? This question is extremely powerful. Let me do it one more time. When I'm working with other guys like you that have been looking for ways that they can improve profitability and increase efficiency on their farm, they often make their decision on what to do based on the quality of information that they get from their agronomist. The second thing that they look for is how the precision platform, how that information is stored. And then the third thing they use to make their decision is based on how simple and easy it is to use. Now, I'm just curious, Mr. or Mrs. Farmer, what advantages would you see in using that criteria to see how it might fit your farm? Does this sound different than just showing up and talking about the weather? Does this sound different than being scared to push back and challenge and to bring farmers different options? It does, doesn't it? You can hear from the tone of my voice today that today's tailgate is a little bit different. It's more serious. Every day that goes past, every day that we're closer to August 1st, you have less opportunity to build trust. Every day that goes past, you have less opportunity to share with farmers your recommendations and observations. Every day that goes past that you aren't using these two skills, the more chance that you're going to have your customer cut what you can't cut out of their program, they're going to want to cut. They're going to focus their attention on price. And how does that help you? And more importantly, how does it help them? This is what we do on tailgate sessions, gang. We talk about real things. We talk about them in a real way so that you're able to have real success. Now you can reach out to me. All you got to do is send me an email. It's David, D-A-V-I-D, at allterrainready.com. Let me spell it. ALTERRRAIN, ready, READY.com. I'd love to hear from you. So many of you are reaching out to me right now and saying, David, help me. And I want to help you. Guys, it's been great to visit with you today. I look forward to our next time together on the tailgate. Be safe and be great.